In 2008, the United States economy took a downward spin and affected drastically the lives of the average American. The standard of living went way down, unemployment went way up, and poverty skyrocketed. The employment rate, according to a website titled Recession Statistics, went from 5% to 10% in the matter of 1 year, the biggest jump we've seen since the Great Depression back in the 1930s. Today, approximately 3 years out of the recession, we are still recovering from the aftermath of the worst economic time other than the 5 to 10 year span of the Great Depression. Today, I'm going to tell you a few reasons to why there's optimism in our economy and why us as Americans should be very excited for what's going to come in the next couple of years. First, I will start by giving a little bit of an introduction to what happened to those of you who do not know. The early 2000s, our economy was doing very well. The unemployment rate stayed around 4 to 5%, and it was a great time for spending as a consumers, and money was circulating very well throughout the economy. 2007 hit, we were doing fine, and then on in 2008, the Great Recession just caught us off guard. The unemployment rate in 2008 was 5.5% before the recession. 2009, in the midst of the recession, it was all the way up to 10%, the highest it's been since the Great Depression. Ever since then, we've been dropping down our unemployment rate every year, but in the middle of the recession, it was the worst for people who couldn't find a job. In fact, I know a few people, including my father, who lost their job after they had been employed for about 30 years by the company because they just couldn't afford to hold all their employees anymore because of the economy that we were in. I'm going to talk about how we can be optimistic, or why we should be optimistic, for 3 statistics. First, GDP, unemployment rate, and the increase of the value of the dollar. First, I will talk about the GDP. The GDP has always been the most important statistic when determining the well-being or how successful an economy is. The GDP measures the value of all final products and services sold in an economy. Take for example a phone. If I'm working at T-Mobile and I sell you a phone, that goes in the GDP. Now, if I sell you the phone, you sell it to someone else, that does not go in the national GDP because it was a final sale from me to the customer, and now the customer is trying to sell it to another customer. That doesn't matter. So it's the final sales of all services and goods throughout the economy. So it determines how well money is circulating and the consumer spending, which is the most important, because if we're not spending, we're saving money. No one's making money. If we're not making money, the economy is about to hit a downfall real fast. So in 2008, in the recession, the GDP was $14.7 trillion. It decreased a couple times, went down to 14.54 in the midst of the recession. But ever since then, it's increased about 0.4 to 0.5 trillion dollars per year. Currently, we are at $15.6 trillion, the highest we've ever been in history. If we continue this rate of 0.3 to 0.4 increase, then by 2017, we will have the most dominant economy we've ever had when looking at the most important statistics of gross domestic product. So that is a great sign of the optimism that we need to look forward to. Second, the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate in the early 2000s, like I said, was around 4 to 5%, and once the recession hit, it doubled, went to 10% 2009. We got out of the recession by an economic stimulus package where the government signed off $780 billion, threw it to random places in the government, education, transportation, all that stuff, and got us out of it. Before that, though, in the 18 months of the recession, we had 4 quarters in a row where we decreased our value, and 1 quarter, second quarter, was at 8.9% decrease, the worst we've ever seen since the Great Depression. Now, 2013, we sit at about a 7% unemployment rate. Not too bad, but still could go lower. Over the last 5 years, we've seen a rate decrease of 0.7%. So if we keep that rate up, we'll be down to 5% by about 2017, 2018, which would be pretty good. It would be this about an 8 to 10 year recovery from the recession. But when you think logically about how bad the recession was, 8 to 10 years of recovery is not too bad. That's actually pretty fast. So next, I'm going to talk about the value of the dollar increasing. It's increased 7% according to a website titled Multiple. And a lot of economists don't like the value of the dollar statistic. For some reason, they believe that it increases prices and does not show a good how well the economy is actually doing. But I researched into a few other economists, and they believe that is a good sign because it shows that wages are increasing. So the 7% increase since 2011 shows us that wages are increasing. If wages are increasing, then people are earning more money. If they're earning more money, they're spending more money. And like I said, the more money spent, the better the economy is doing. If we're saving our money, then nobody's going to make money, and we're going to run out of money. So I have one recommendation for what we should do to speed up my prediction. It's the same thing we did to get out of the recession. I believe we should pump about $100 billion in stimulus spending into various organizations and programs in the government and the economy in order to boost our spending and boost our wages, lower our unemployment rate, and higher our GDP. If we do that, we will be at the best economy we've seen ever in the history of America over the next 5 years. So today I explained why there's optimism and how we are able to determine how well the economy will do in the next few years by looking at previous statistics. In the next few years, we will see the U.S. as the best power in the world, along with the best power that it's ever been in the history of its economy. Thank you.